Challenges for financial services in the age of the Internet of Things was the focus of a seminar in the afternoon of Day 2 of the Asian Financial Forum 2015 in Hong Kong. Earlier in the day, Deloitte also sponsored a luncheon keynote speech with Nobel Prize-winning economist Professor Paul Krugman, who had some surprising insights about the future of the economy in Asia.
China scares me. It scares me because, not because the policies have been wrong or anything, but because the magnitude of the adjustment. China is something like a 50% of GDP investment, 30% consumption economy, which is sustainable if you have 9% growth. But you can only have 9% growth if you're able to very rapidly move people from a low productivity rural sector into a high productivity urban sector. Now that that process is coming to an end, that's not sustainable. How do you transfer 20 points of GDP? I'd like to say that I think it's all going to work out in the end. I suppose in the long run, it will, right? If people want to say, do I believe in the future of Asia? Of course. We have tremendous strength. What we've seen is that this region is full of entrepreneurial spirit, that it's perfectly capable of adopting modern technology, and then there's a lot of people here who have those capacities. And so in the long run, this will be an enormously thriving, this will be the center of the world economically and in other respects.
Something which receives a significant amount of press, often misunderstood, but actually impacts on every part of our daily life. And that's to look at the Internet of Things and the way that we're seeing disruption within financial services, but also the way that we're seeing a significant amount of opportunity within financial services.
This is the type of skills we need. Data scientists, experience designers, storytellers, behavioral psychologists, algorithmic risk programmers. These are the resources that are going to build the financial services industry of the next decade. The resources that have made Hong Kong what it is today, in terms of financial service leadership, are almost irrelevant in this world. We've got the wrong focus. We think being a fin leader, financial services leader, is where it's happening. But to be a fintech leader, we need more tech than fin. And we're not really well equipped for that here in Hong Kong. We've got a lot of focus on teaching our kids Putonghua in Hong Kong. We need to be teaching them programming languages. That's a much more critical skill for this generation.
Customer segmentation is a keyword in all retail business, including the banking industry. So I do believe that all the different customers, their need is diverse, and only internet alone cannot meet all their needs.
Sort of a pessimistic view, and I say in the bank in the future we will lose all the relationship with the customers because the relationship will be owned by Apple and Google. I end up being a utility. But I think that if it becomes a utility, that also can be meaningful. If you think about the frame of reference when I mentioned about, fundamentally I think that banks should think of themselves as a data and technology company. With all the data and the technology, even being a utility, you can say that I'm an expert in managing risk.
What's the view of the US government in terms of how we continue to promote the development of fintech and indeed in your role, if you like, the export of fintech?
Trying to be very balanced in how we think about the trade-off between innovation and regulation, clearly being cognizant of the fact that this industry is going to continue to evolve, continue to be very important for a public policy perspective, and as all of you know in the audience, is so central to economic growth overall. And one of the things that has been at the center of both the United States and in fact Hong Kong is the strength of its financial services sector and the breadth and depth of its capital markets as a way to continue to drive economic growth, certainly in our country, in this region.
You know, we said China's capital market have two legs, Shanghai and Shenzhen. One leg is already out, the other leg needs to go. It's just a matter of time. But the question becomes exactly when, hopefully this year. Actually, it should be this year. I'd be very disappointed if it's not this year. And because it doesn't really take that much longer than, it absolutely would take a lot shorter than Shanghai to get it done because largely we're replicating most of the models, particularly in systems.